right. Well, I wanted to really thank Olivia for making the time to join us this evening. Over 30 years, Olivia Chow has been an effective and well known public figure, serving Toronto's municipal politics and on the national stage as a member of parliament. She was voted Best City Councillor 7 times in a row by Now Magazine and Best MP in 2010. Readers of the Toronto Sun voted Top Torontonian in 2012, and Canadian Immigrant Magazine named her one of top 25 immigrants. Olivia also wrote a best-selling memoir, My Journey, published in 2014. In 2015, Olivia Chow rejoined Ryerson University as Distinguished Visiting Professor. Her work focuses on community engagement and leadership development. As a founder of the Institute for Change Leaders, Olivia and her team of 30 trainers have taught community and political organizing for over 5,000 people since March of 2015. The Institute for Change Leader mission to ensure organizers are continually developing their skills they need to transform and resource that they have to change what they want. The Institute does this teaching by organizing strategies and providing a platform for growth and a network of organizers. Olivia's career has all been about creating lasting change. Olivia was born in Hong Kong and moved to Toronto with her parents when she was 13. She studied philosophy and fine art at the university and worked as a college professor and an English as a second language teacher, a counselor to new immigrants, and a sculptor. She became an active young woman fighting for the rights of refugees and immigrants for over 20 years. She was at the forefront of ultimately successful campaign to achieve national apology and redress the discriminatory Chinese head tax. Olivia was first elected in 1985 and served as Toronto Board of Education for 6 years. Thank you.
Well, that's what I see my life passing by me, right? You know, this is when you get to be over 60, almost retirement age, almost. You sort of takes a long time for that CV to go in. But anyway, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me. And I put on my Rotarian pin. Yes, I had a lot of work that I've done with the Toronto downtown Rotary Club. My late husband was a member for a few years, and I've joined their Friday lunch at many occasions. So 116 years of excellent work. Rotarians, congratulations. Congratulations to all your work helping people to get the vaccine. I got my first shot. It felt so good, huh? When you get that shot, it was just amazing. Well, tonight I thought we'll explore about children and women because hopefully we'll recover soon. We're going to build back, hopefully better. And I want to tell you a little bit about my experience when I became the first City of Toronto Children's Advocate. And it was a position created by the mayor. And I thought the first thing I should do, becoming the City of Toronto Children's Advocate, was to ask the kids, what would they do if they become the mayor for a day? What would be the one thing they would do? That hundreds and hundreds of kids wrote in, and a lot of them said, oh, new playground, another CN tower, let's build that. And some said, maybe I can get another brother, sister, friend to play with, more toys. And then there was one that caught my attention. This kid was only 4 or 5 years old. This is a while, as I recall. I remember she did a drawing with a little stick figure, and she was carrying a bag. It looked like a shopping bag. And then there were 2 other kids, and then there was a mom. Okay, stick figures. And she wrote down, I pray to God there's money for groceries. And that hit me hard because this kid have to pray for grocery money, meaning this kid would have gone hungry and she would have felt hunger. It meant that the mom would have to make that hard choice whether to buy food or pay rent, or that maybe at the end of the month, there's just not enough money to buy grocery. I thought, oh my God, in this rich country, rich city, how could it be that I have little kids saying that they have to pray to God for grocery money? You can pray to God for happiness, for love, for good faith, for health, not for grocery money, for God's sake. So what I did at the time was that, okay, what should I do as a City of Toronto children's advocate? I thought, okay, let's get all the kids in school to have decent food, at least one decent meal, no matter whether they can afford it or not, in high priority neighborhoods, that would be a universal, either a breakfast or a lunch program in school. And we expanded it to 175,000 kids in Toronto. And because you don't have to say that I'm poor, then I get a breakfast. It's for all kids. And if the parents can afford to pay, parents pay. If the parents can afford to pay, it's okay, subsidized. Most parents pay. Those that can't afford it don't have to pay. Then you're not separating the kids. You have money, you don't have money. And, it wouldn't embarrass them. And then I thought, what would it be like if it is a national program? Wow. Wouldn't it be amazing? Every kid under 18 years old would have a decent meal so that they could learn better. Because I don't know about you. When I get hungry, forget it. I get angry. I can't focus. I can't concentrate. I yell at the cat, and then if there's, my cat's not around, I can't focus. I just had dinner, so I'm focusing quite well right now. But I don't know how many of you are hungry. You can't learn, especially for kids, if they are hungry, which is why hats off to you. The nutrition on weekends, the Now program that you've been doing with it, right? When school was in, 275 kids, and now, weekends, and you're making sure that kids have a food hamper on weekends and sometimes weekdays. Are you expanding it? Yeah, it's excellent work that you do. But not every city in this country is like in Kenora, where you have an amazing Rotary Club, where you can have pizza for peace and, the auction, charity auction. Wow, you folks do amazing stuff. Not every city or municipalities or small towns across this country are blessed with amazing people like you. That's why one of the things that I'm looking for in this upcoming budget on April 19th, it's next Monday, wow, a week from now, is that maybe we could start having a bit of investment so that schools and childcare centers would be able to feed some of the kids. And you know what? We will recover most of that money because the parents will pay. Most of them would pay. But those that can't, let's make sure they are able to learn and focus and concentrate. So that's one of my pet projects. Another one, when I was a City of Toronto children's advocate and youth advocate, I was both, was about early learning and care. I appointed two very smart person. One of them is Margaret McCain, as the children's commissioner. The other one is a banker who is very, very smart, also at Royal Bank, a VP there, Chow's Coffee. And together they wrote this report to say that early learning in childcare is the most important thing because the first 6 years of a kid's life, their brain is growing so much. They are learning, they're absorbing. They need the stimulus, they need the care and the education. And that is critical. There are so many reports, so many studies about the importance of early learning and care. You and I know it. We instinctively know it. Whether we are mom, grandmoms, and I have 4 grandkids, I watch them growing up and I see how active they are and how much they learn. And yet we know that a lot of them pre-COVID, it cannot, there's no childcare for them because it's too expensive. Or that you put your name on a waiting list. There's a joke in some of the cities that if you want to have a high quality childcare, the minute you become pregnant, put your name on the waiting list. You may actually get it when your kid actually needs infant toddler care. It's true. That's what my daughter did. When the minute she got pregnant, she told her dad, "Oh, Dad, I'm pregnant," and I was so happy, crying. And it was the first baby, right, of the family, and Jack was crying, and blah, 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 and all of that. And then I said, "Sarah, put your name on the waiting list on childcare, so you can get childcare." Yeah, because on average, about 25% of the kids get really decent, high quality childcare. The rest of them, not so much. Okay, sometimes babysitters, sometimes grandparents. Most of grandparents are really good, but grandparents have other things to do in life, right? So, early childhood education, for every dollar we put in to invest, we get $6 back because the kids learn better. Wow, this is a good investment. My portfolio are not doing that well. Not well. It's actually better now than say last year, mid-year. But $1 return for $6, that's decent investment. And in this time of COVID, we all know that it's mostly moms that are quitting their jobs, are doing less hours, or that they're laid off because they are essential workers, frontline workers, they're service workers that have, not essential workers, they're service workers that have, their business are shutting down or closing. So we know that women are earning less, working less, and if we are to recover, we need this workforce back to work. But how are they going to be able to work without childcare? Well, we have all these existing childcare, no? Well, except no, because a lot of them are collapsing because they have fewer kids going to childcare, meaning they have to charge more. Parents can't pay more. And because the kids are at home, these childcare centers are collapsing. So quite a few of them are have closed. So when we get out of this pandemic, hopefully soon, hopefully this third wave will depart as we all get vaccinated. Oh God. We need decent, high quality, universally accessible, affordable childcare, early learning and care. Why? Because our kids deserves it. We have to provide that. There have been so many studies that said that of all the countries in OECD, we are at the lowest end in terms of our investment in kids. My goodness, I thought we are a rich country at the low end. Okay, and not only kids, early childhood education is good for ordinary kids. Some kids have learning disabilities. If you can identify them early and be able to do the right intervention, these kids would grow up well. So it levels the playing field. No matter what is your income level, you can achieve better academic performances throughout your life. You lead to higher wages. More mom and dad would actually have babies right now. I can't tell you how many families are telling me they are not having babies. It's too expensive. If you have 2 kids, sometimes it's more than what you pay for a mortgage. Good Lord, that is too much. I watched my 2 kids having 2 kids each, and I looked at their, okay, it's higher than your mortgage payment. It's too much, right? So it needs to be affordable. So I am so looking forward to this coming Monday. There's been lots and lots of talk about finally there would be early childhood education. Okay. Wow. Money. Okay. Let me tell you how much is needed. So next Monday, if you see all this ads, I'm saying, oh, wow, money. Because they tried that before. I think Paul Martin was the prime minister, the Liberal prime minister at the time. They invested 250 million first year, 750 million. And then by the third year, by the second year, it got 10, so change of government. But because the amount was so small at the beginning, it did not get embedded by the provincial government. So the next government came in, a different government said, gone, wiped out. So if we are to do it properly, each province in Quebec is about $2 billion for them to have $10 a day childcare. In British Columbia, it's about 1.6 billion it cost. So for the first year, if next Monday you see $2 billion for the first year investment in early childhood education, universal, you can say, finally, my goodness, majority of the Canadians have been asking for this. Finally, it'll get done. Okay. And then what they need to do is then, of course, negotiate with the provincial government because it is provincial responsibility. They could get together and this will work. And it would be so stunningly amazing. And it would be even better if it's integrated into the education system. Why? Because right now, the early childhood educator cannot afford to be mothers. Let me play a video for you and that show you how difficult it is. This is the story of Elena. Okay, everybody can hear.
Hi everyone, my name is Elena and I'm a proud early childhood educator. When I started the early childhood education diploma program at George Brown, it was the first time in my life where I really felt like I belonged somewhere. And I was a part of a community, and I felt like I was doing the right thing with my life. And then I went after graduation and I got a job at an amazing nonprofit community childcare center, and I was so thrilled to be able to do the really important and valuable work that we do every day. While I was in school studying early childhood education, I worked at a bar like most students do to make ends meet. And when I got this job, I thought, finally, I can quit my bar job and I can have weekends off to spend time with my husband and my stepdaughter. And I can not work every single day. And then I realized soon that very quickly into starting this job that wasn't going to be the case, that because of my salary, I would still have to work on weekends and I would work 7 days a week, and it would be a strain for our family. But we struggled through. My husband was incredibly supportive of what I needed to do to be able to do the job that I love. So that was incredible. But then one day we were Christmas shopping, and we were at Walmart and we were looking for a very specific toy for my stepdaughter. And I walked down the aisle, and on one side was the Minecraft toys, and on the other side was the infant snowsuits. And I just started to cry. And Sean turned to me and he said, what's going on? Why are you crying? And I said, just get me out of here, get me out of here. Because I was realizing that part of our dreams and our goals to start to have our own child weren't going to happen if I had to work 7 days a week. And if I couldn't afford to pay my rent, then we weren't ever going to achieve these things. And just looking at those snowsuits, I just wanted there to be our child inside of one, and I wanted to take them home with us. So I realized then that I had to change something, because this isn't any way to live our lives, and I wasn't willing anymore to put our dreams on hold. So I made the decision to leave my job and go back to school and further my education, but I also made the decision to get involved in making a difference so that this situation wasn't happening to me and it wasn't happening to my colleagues, because I know I'm not alone and I know we're all challenged by our working conditions. So I am so pleased to see you all here today, and I really hope that together we can come together, we can make our goals happen, and we can get decent work and professional pay for everyone in our sector. So thank you.
That is Elena's story. It's childcare workers on average make $17 an hour. If you live in a big city, you can't afford to have a kid for $17 an hour. She told a story. I now teach, as Andrea said, that I teach people how to do advocacy, find a power within themselves and connect with each other to make the change they want. So Elena, through that, went back to school, and she then became the president and the CEO of the association that represents all the childcare workers, 20,000 of them in Ontario. And she mounted this fabulous campaign and got $2 extra per childcare worker per hour. And it was through the Liberal government, and then the Conservative government, Mr. Ford, kept it because they were so effective in pleading their case. So I play that video to say that it's important that we have decent childcare, but we also need decent wages for a lot of these women, because the service, those people that take care of our kids, that teach our kids and take care of our seniors, their pay is so low. And the best way to have a decent recovery is not just to invest in programs, but it really invest in children, but also invest in the services that are provided mostly by female. In this case, is childcare, early learning, and personal support workers. They are the ones that take care of our seniors. Let's extend their hours so that it's not just only 14 hours per week for home care, so more older people can stay home with decent home care, pay them properly, don't have them just work through temp agencies, and give them the security and the salary they deserve, because they do tough jobs working to make sure our kids and our seniors are really very careful. I want to leave you with that thought, and I want to believe that there is this opportunity when times are dark, when times are tough. This is what Canadians are all about. We come together because we live in a country that's pretty cold, pretty severe. And when times are dark and difficult, we help each other because we know it pays it back, it pays it forward. Okay? So this generosity of spirit is not just in the Rotary Club mandate, but I believe that most Canadians believe in this generosity of spirit, just to see how we are coming together to support each other. And let's hope and work for a government that would do exactly the same thing. Take this generosity of spirit and say that, okay, we will reflect that core value and make sure that when we recover, we build back better by investing in children and women. Thank you for your time.